When do y'all watch it?
Hey guys, this is Dominique Wilkins.
Hey, this is Sean Kemp.
This is Gary Payton.
Hey, this is Pau Gasol.
NBA fans, what's up? This is Vince Carter here.
Hey, what's up? This is Matt Barnes. If you're an old school NBA fan like I am, make sure you check out the Basketball Time Machine with my man Sean David.
Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Basketball Time Machine. My name is Sean David. Thanks for tuning in. Let's talk some old school NBA basketball. Now, for those of you who watch my show on a regular basis, you know that one of my favorite shows of all time, and sometimes I might even consider it my favorite show, it's always been NBA Open Court, simply because of the fact I love the combination of so many NBA legends talking about stories that we have never heard before, exchanging comments and everything. It's just beautiful, but obviously also the funny stories. So in today's episode, we're going to take a look at some of the funniest stories that we have seen on NBA Open Court. But before we start with that, let me ask you guys for a small favor. If you like the content and enjoy the show, leave a like. All right, you guys, let's get right into it. Now, we all know Shaq and Charles Barkley love each other, but that's the beautiful thing on NBA Open Court. It's not only the two of them who are in charge of the funny stuff, but you also have some other players that I had no idea about how funny they actually are. So let's have a look.
I would say the guy that just shocked you, Ken Norman.
Yeah.
Ken Norman. Snake. The snake. He ain't seen funny. Funny. Different funny. Okay. So I'll give you two of them. Our general manager, Pete Babcock, wore some bad shoes. So he used to always say, Pete Babcock, do those come in leather? And Pete would say, oh, not leather. And we bust out laughing.
I love that.
And then the last time, Lenny wasn't playing him. We were playing the Chicago Bulls. And him, being him from Chicago,
Right.
he used to go, ooh, Michael Jordan's going to be jumping high. And I got the best seats, Lenny. And, ooh, Lenny. And if you want to see what Lenny broke the record, all-time wins.
I know where you're going.
He's cheesing with Lenny. Ken Norman by far. He used to always say, Smitty.
Jordan, go to Jordan.
I talked to Juanita. He's going to get 50.
That's good. Oh, man.
I was telling Steve Kerr this story, and we were playing in Portland. It was I played just 1 year in Houston. I had signed for 2 years to play in Houston. That's where all the berries get buried. My dad finished in Houston. John finished in Houston, and I did. We should put some
Plaques.
some sort of gravestones across the street in the empty lot. But anyway, we were playing up in Portland, and this Spanish kid named Fernandez, first name Rudy, was a first-year player for the Portland Trailblazers. He checked into the game when I checked into the game, coming off the bench, and I couldn't find him. Honestly, I couldn't find it. He was running around, and I was like, man,
And we played Utah 2 years in a row, 6 games, so 12 games against John Stockton. And I have the greatest respect for him. I see him away from the court, love him, great guy, but he was a dirty bastard. Whoa!
Dirty bastard! Steve Kerr!
I'm letting it out. I've never seen a therapist about this. This is my time to let it go.
There you go!
I can tell you feel better. Take the couch.
In practice, Coach Russell really didn't run practice that much. So he would let Willis Reed run the practice. And so he would read the paper. He was kind of like Bear Bryant. So he's sitting down, he's reading the paper, and all of a sudden I look over and you see him sleeping in practice. So he kind of stumbles and everyone laughs. And he's like, everybody out of practice. If y'all wasn't so damn boring, I wouldn't be sleeping here. You was out of practice for us being boring.
All right, Steve. Well done.
Sushi.
Whatever.
Steve.
Yeah, sushi. No, I was like Kenny. I just, pasta, chicken, whatever. But I'll tell you a quick story about Tony Kukoc when he came over to the NBA.
first game of the season, I asked him if he wanted to go grab a bite to eat. It's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, kind of, 4 hours before the game. And he orders this feast. I mean, salad, appetizer, huge plate of pasta, chicken, glass of red wine, a dessert like tiramisu, and then he follows it up with an espresso. And I'm just in awe. I'm sitting there looking at him like, Tony, this is your pregame meal? He goes, in Europe, we eat a lot, we drink a little wine, we have espresso, we go back to hotel, take beer, then we go. Hey, all right, here we go.
Oh.
Wait, was I allowed to say that?
I gotta honestly say, I did not see that story going there. That was awesome.
I don't know why. I thought he was going to say, oh, we have a game tonight.
Jamal Crawford threw it through my legs.
Oh, it's time to quit.
I remember that.
It's time to quit.
I've seen that. You remember that?
Yeah. This sounds like the Don't Remind Me segment from an earlier show. Go ahead.
The new up screener rolls. So I put my foot on the sideline thinking he has nowhere to go. He threw it through my legs and laid it up. But I looked at Bernie Bickerstaff as my coach, and he said, time.
Memphis. Haven't played the whole series, probably didn't play the 10 games going into the playoffs. I'm all excited. I think I'm going to play. I'm going in layup line, trying to keep up with the young guys dunking in layup line. And at the end of the game, I didn't play, but my knee's hurting. So when the series is over, I get an MRI, and I have a surface tear of my medial meniscus. And so when you hurt yourself in layup line, it's time to go sit down. It might be time.
Because Jay Will was just funny and appropriate. And so, you know how you make your rookies do everything?
Right.
It wasn't even fun. I'm like, Jay Will, we landed in New York. I'm like, man, you got to get off the bus. It's snowing. Only in your tights.
Yeah.
Go in and scream, who let the dogs out and pay for it? He would do whatever. And so one trip, we're coming in Boston. It's a snowstorm. We would make him do all the things. And he was like, if I do one thing, can I be off? We were like, yeah, whatever. So we get in Boston. I'm just listening to headphones. It's cold. It's freezing. And we're like, yeah, what's going on? We get to the hotel, everybody's checking in. Everybody's like, where's Jason? And we really can't find him. It's about maybe 3-4 minutes. And one of the ball boy goes, and we looked under the bus, picked up the thing under the bus. He's laying on the luggage up on the bus.
Yes,
and he was like, what are you doing? He was like, I ain't want to ride with y'all bitches up here. And he was just sitting, and he's just laying, posing.
Was it tough to play every night? Did you often take the floor knowing you were going to lose, that the Sacramento Kings were going to lose that night?
No, you have a delusion that you're going to win games, but
in fact, you were 24 and 58.
Yeah, you have a delusion, but Bill Russell at the time was our coach, and we had an interesting concept with me as a rookie. He said to me on the bus, he said, you're going to have to sit next to me on the bus the whole time. And I was like, I didn't want to do that. I'm like, I don't want to sit next to the coach the bus and the plane rides and everywhere.
Oh,
I started walking to the back, and he grabs me back. He said, young fella, you got to sit next to me. I'm like, why do I have to sit? Because he's a loser. He's a loser. And they're never going to win. So LaSalle Thompson wasn't one of the guys he pointed. He's like, you can't call these guys losers. What are you doing? He's like, I'm trying to trade him. Nobody wants him. Nobody wants him. And if you don't believe me, you can come in the office and sit with me. So Bill Russell was a very keep it real coach.
The Cavaliers destroy the Miami Heat 148-80. This is the largest margin of victory in the history of the National Basketball Association.
I mean, it was unreal. It was Kevin Lockyer was our coach, and Kevin Lockyer is unreal with stories. I mean, every time the timeout, he came out and says, you know what? We're not going to win this game.
Oh, really?
To me as an NBA fan, it's super sad to see that NBA Open Court is not being produced anymore. And I think it's a huge mistake because, I think there are still so many topics about so many different things that you could still produce that show. It's pretty I guess it's pretty cheap to produce because you basically just have some guys sitting in a room discussing stuff. But I also think that for us old school fans it's a little bit of catching up because we didn't have the access in the 80s and 90s. You know, we had some magazines, but a lot of the stuff that happened behind closed doors, we never got to hear those stories. So I think a show like NBA Open Court, especially with those guys like, now we know Steve Kerr is not available anymore, but Charles, Shaq, and then guys like Steve Smith, Grant Hill, and Dennis Scott and those guys. I would love for that show to return, and hopefully we will get some new episodes. Anyway, you guys, let me know in the comments below what is your favorite story in NBA Open Court, and hopefully I'll see you next time on the Basketball Time Machine.